after the
vacation
time. Yeah, we're going to hear, but before we do that, we're going to be hearing all kinds of noise in the background because I can hear them. I loved it from Sunday.
That was so funny.
But anyway,
hey, I'm Jake Schriner.
And I'm Pastor Johnny Leckie, and this is the Compass Conversation Podcast. Thanks for joining us tonight. Ignore the chaos.
The noise.
Out there, anyway. That's right. But the chaos in here.
We will follow you, King Jesus.
We have planned on.
We got chaos. Oh my gosh. Well, we'll just roll right in here. We've had a little pre-podcast conversation, so we're going to move it along. Boom, boom, boom. We have to skip trivia.
No, I'm just kidding. We can't skip trivia. That's the new favorite section.
Okay, I'll have something funny to say about that here in a few minutes. But anyway, hey, thanks for joining us tonight. This is the podcast of Compass Church. It's the official one of the official podcast. This is where we talk about whatever we want to talk about, basically, but mostly all things Compass Church, questions, anything from Sunday, stuff coming up, behind the scenes. Every now and then you get a little fun, little Easter egg of sorts.
Yeah, nuts and bolts every once in a while.
Little nuts and bolts. How the sausage is made.
Yeah, how the sausage is made.
No, that's horrible. All right. Well, we're going to have noise in the background. So I'm just going to go ahead and first say that Sunday, I loved it. Oh, I forgot. I'm already, because I'm in such a hurry, I'm jumping over things.
That's
like,
okay.
How are you doing, Jake?
I'm good, thank you.
Welcome back from your trip.
I know.
I got back from a trip too.
Yeah, your trip too. It's been like a month since we sat here. So much has changed. We're just different people.
So much has changed. A little older, a little wiser.
No, we had a fantastic time in Florida. As I texted you, but that was probably the best family vacation we've had.
Oh, that's great.
It really was awesome.
Who all was there? Was it your in-laws?
Yeah, just the in-laws. Clinton Harper and myself, and we got to stay at their place in Florida.
That's
they live just south of Fort Myers. So flew into Fort Myers. Like a 4-hour flight, which really isn't too bad, got there, had a couple nice meals, got to play golf on Tuesday, saw a ton of wildlife on the golf course, which is really cool. Lots of birds and gators and
that's like gators?
And turkeys and deer and raccoons and all sorts of stuff.
Raccoons?
Yeah, and the girls
Florida
had a pool day, and then Wednesday we went to the beach and had a nice lunch out there, and on St. Patrick's Day. So Monday we met some of Colette's parents' friends out for dinner at a local pub. They had some very good food. I got a nice flatbread there. But Colette got me a St. Patrick's Day shirt that says "Dibs on the Redhead," which is awesome. I was like, all right, this is my
Colette for the viewers at home is the redhead.
Is the redhead. My wife is a redhead, yes. So that is now my forever St. Patrick's Day shirt.
I love that.
Yeah, so just a all-around fantastic trip. And I'm glad we're back now, though. Looks like we got a nice week coming up. So
that's true.
And the end of the week, we got something fun.
We do.
So, back at work, things are rolling. I'm doing okay. How are you, Johnny?
Similar, very similar to that. I can't remember if we talked about this before on the podcast that we were making this trip, but it was one of those things where we had spring break, and so we left on a Friday. So this was why we did the online service only.
Right.
It's not my favorite thing to do, but I'm glad we have it. Mm-hmm. Right. But anyhow, so right after school, I take Leona to the airport, and she flies to Tennessee to see her dad.
Yeah.
I leave from the airport and begin driving to Texas, straight from there. Just
right.
Like loop-a-dee-doo, right? So I went down to, I don't want to say that, Dylan. See, this is bad foreshadowing of me trying to think trivia. I'm so loopy-headed today. I'm just tired of it. But, Panhandle, what is it? Completely going blank.
Oklahoma?
No, the Texas town, 6 hours from here.
Lubbock.
This is very embarrassing. Oh my gosh. It'll come to me in just a minute. But anyway, so halfway, basically.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, come on. You know what this is. You gotta know.
I've never driven to Texas.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what the route is.
Okay. Well, anyhow, so stopping this down. This is really embarrassing. Oh, Amarillo. Hello.
Oh, okay. All
I had to have the song Amarillo by Morning pop into my head for that to work.
Jeez.
Anyway, I stayed in Amarillo myself. Just kind of weird. I got the cheapest hotel I could. I thought, it's just me.
Right.
Right? Just a little dumpy hotel. I'll be fine. And this was more of a chain, so it wasn't like the dumpy.
Right. Yeah.
Shingles falling off outside and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was like, okay, this is all right. And I went in, and the bed was great. The shower was fine. Everything else was, oh my gosh.
Oh, no.
Maybe, but I got there so late, I was like, I don't care.
Right.
And then I drove from there. I went to see my brother in Dallas.
Yeah.
Hung out with him for a little bit. Before I left, I stopped to see my old friend, Dr. Michael Fees. I don't know if he ever watches this, but hi if you are. Who always makes me laugh. All right, he's someone I used to serve with in Texas. Hilarious dude. Anyway, then I drove back to here. However, I didn't come back here until Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Leona, meanwhile, on Monday, flew to Michigan to see my son Matthew and our grandkids. I got back here on Tuesday. Late in the day, had some supper, kind of packed my bags, and Wednesday morning early I was on a flight to Michigan.
That's right. Yeah.
And then we had to fly back on Saturday.
Yeah.
And anyway, it was a good trip. It was great. I posted a couple of pictures, not even nearly enough, but I just figure nobody wants to see 25 pictures of the sights I saw. My favorite, though, is the Cadillac Ranch. Speaking of Amarillo, because some of our kids, we stopped on the way to the Grand Canyon or somewhere we were going, and it's like, I can't remember how many it is, but it's a bunch of Cadillacs that are buried halfway into the ground.
I saw your pictures of that though. Yeah.
It's like,
a
1972
Stonehenge of Cadillacs.
Kind of, yes. It's like an art thing that some wealthy dude who owns that ranch and that giant field and everything decided to they were brand new at the time, these Cadillacs. He was very wealthy, but he wanted to show the impermanence of wealth and just let it deteriorate. And you didn't pay anything. Anybody could stop by, walk over, you could paint on it, whatever. So over time, it's just kind of become a thing. And now they've actually got a deal where they actually can sell you some paint to go put on. It's like a legal spray painting place.
That's funny.
But anyway. And then today, back to school. Anyhow, let's get off this because we got to move our podcast along.
Yes,
we're talking too long.
Yeah,
talking too long, man. If you're one of the people who listen to us talk, tell us. Do you like that?
Yeah.
Would you rather us not talk
so long? Do we need
to
shorten it up?
Maybe a 20-minute, 15-minute at lunch. Okay, what do you want to talk about, dude? We got a lot
well, I guess we got stuff coming up. Quick announcement for this Friday.
Yes.
We are having a cookout at my place.
Yeah, I'm sorry I forgot that was the day. I don't know why.
Oh, no,
all the traveling.
It's all good because we had talked about it a couple times, but I never really 100% confirmed. But yeah, no, we're good. Okay. My folks will be in town too, so that'll be nice.
Yeah,
this weekend. But yeah, so we're having a cookout. Gonna have some s'mores, cook out some hot dogs, have a nice big fire in the Viking fire pit.
That's what I'm looking forward to. And keep my wife away from that, will you?
Yes.
She cuts herself.
We'll bring Band-Aids out too. Just
Band-Aids. Night of Danger is what we're calling it. No. Spring hangout. So first kind of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, are your folks going to be around for Sunday or are they heading back?
No, they'll be around for Sunday morning too.
Yep. So Summit Sunday.
Summit Sunday. We got Summit Sunday this Sunday at the school.
Mm-hmm.
So
continuing every week, it's like a new experiment of how we can make that even a little bit better. My only concern about it at the moment is it's still a little too dark.
I was just about to say I like how I
I
like the mood. I really do.
It's a nice change.
It is. It wouldn't work if it was like that and there was say 50 of us. But when there's a dozen of us, I think it's okay, But yeah, I mean, if you had more, but we would need more space anyway, and you'd want a brighter, bigger room, and it would. Yeah,
that's true.
I think we're what we're doing.
It's cool, and it's a different thing now. It's funny that that's different. What might happen down the road is it might flip, where Summit Sunday is actually in people's houses.
Right.
Who knows?
Have enough where you're at the school on.
Those are two very cool things that are happening.
Yep. And then I sent you some pictures. Maybe you'll put them in here, and here.
You sent me a picture.
On text yesterday. The tomatoes, the peppers, and the garlic are starting. Yeah.
Those were fantastic.
Yeah. Checked the garlic at the house.
got to remember that.
They're growing, so I would only, stand to reason that the garlic at the community plot is growing too.
Yeah, and you're going to see it on Saturday morning, is my understanding.
Yeah, so Saturday morning we're going out to the meeting, so we'll see that. And we'll confirm Saturday morning Annette's plot too, because it doesn't sound like she's a part of the email chain yet, but we'll make sure that gets all sorted out.
That's kind of fun. Yeah. And that just kind of by default now is the co-conspirator.
That's fantastic. I'll tell you what, if she picks up one day a week for watering, I get one day, and you can get one day, then we're set.
Oh,
come
fantastic.
on in.
Who's that?
So that
this is happening much earlier in the podcast.
Oh, and because we wasted everything.
What is it time for? Cookie break! Cookie break!
Do you remember what they're called?
What do
What
we
is
have?
this?
What kind of cookies do we have here?
You don't want to say.
You don't want to say? What kind of cookies?
All right,
You can
these.
see yourself in the screen.
say
I
hi?
want to see myself
say
on the
hi?
screen.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
it shows what's on the screen as well.
Hello, world.
These are. These are chocolate chunk, and those are monster. Whatever that means.
Monster cookies.
So they've got, I think,
Okay,
it has a good variety of stuff in it.
awesome.
Thank you.
Wow, an early cookie break in August because we're not talking for about 15 minutes before we
Well, it's like 6:30. You know that, right?
Yeah, we gotta hurry this thing up.
I love
Okay, so great job, Harper. Oh no! Try again. Ow!
Do I get a high
She
five?
high-fived the table.
Yay!
All right.
I did your thumb. Let's try that again.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'm a mess. Okay.
Thank you so
All right,
much.
thank you, ladies.
Enjoy.
Yay! Bravo! Well, let's try the cookies.
All right.
Early on, you're trying those. I'll try one of these. Monster cookie. Huh? Wow, that's a gooey cookie. Monster cookie. What does that mean? I don't know.
They're always warm. They're just
Wow,
fantastic.
that one's great.
I'll have to try one of those.
All right.
These are good.
We'll spin them around. I'll try to take a bite of this. Oh my soul.
Okay.
We're in cooking paradise over here, man.
These are good. And as we always say, if you have a cookie recipe
Please.
and you'd like us to try, leave it in the comments below.
Do you guys know where the comments are on YouTube?
Leave a like and subscribe.
Yeah, do that. Please do that. All
Time
right.
for everybody's favorite section. The new.
Wow, this is too early, but let's do it.
I know it really is. It's.
But it's late.
All right.
I don't know, man. I was gonna say before you tell these,
Yeah.
you gave me the category. And you said Jesus and the Apostles. So I was like, the New Testament. I don't know.
I was thinking about it. I'm like, I can't give categories are tough because it's so broad. Or if I give you a very specific category, it's like, well, there can only be so many questions about
Yeah.
this, right?
Well, here's the deal. This could be the night that I miss every one of them.
I don't think so.
And I think maybe. I mean, my brain is. I'll try.
There we go.
I get lost on names sometimes, so.
That could be okay.
All right. True. Oh, it's not true or false. Wait. This is called Bible Trivia.
Bible trivia.
I've been throwing that one. All right, here we go.
Here we go. So, how many pairs of brothers are in the 12 apostles?
Okay. All right. I'm sorry, I'm talking with a cookie in my mouth. All right, James and John.
Mm-hmm.
We have Peter, Simon, and Andrew. Pairs of brothers?
Pairs of brothers, yes.
Who else might have been a brother? From another mother. Those were the only brothers, right?
Correct.
All right.
Correct. And a follow-up, can you name their fathers?
Maybe. Jonas from Peter and Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
And James and John, the sons of... Oh, the father was Thunder. No!
Sons of Thunder.
Thank you so much. That would have been a good tribute.
That would have been, yeah.
Oh, good grief. Hang on.
Starts with a Z.
Zebedee.
Very good, yes.
All right, well, you...
There we go.
Thanks for helping me.
It is widely believed that Jesus preached for how many years before his crucifixion? 3? Yes.
3 years.
3 to 3.5.
How old was he
Depending on which scholar.
when he started, do you think?
30 is what, well, rough estimates are 30.
At about age 30.
And,
And,
yeah. How many books contain the Great
how many
Commission?
are on now? We're on 4?
Well, the second was like a follow-up, I guess.
Oh,
to the
okay.
first one.
Keep
So,
going.
how many books contain the Great Commission?
And it's, well, okay.
I guess, I'm sort of looking for a broad answer on this. It's not, they contain all or a portion of the Great Commission.
Every book in the Bible. Oh. So, what I always say is that is in all 4 Gospels and in the book of Acts. In some form, so send I you, as he has sent me, so I send you. Matthew is the one that's quoted the most as the famous version, but there's some version, even in that last chopped off part of the Gospel of Mark. So that's my answer. 4 or 5, but it's always
5.
Okay.
But yes.
Yes, so 4 in 4 Gospels.
The resounding
and
message is in more, obviously.
right
but,
throughout the New Testament.
Yeah.
But yes, 5. So Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and
Acts. Right. Yes. And the last one,
will be my
which
witnesses.
I thought maybe might be more fun to do one of these in every week is, what is your favorite parable?
my favorite parable.
Your favorite parable? Yeah, I've never won like one subjective
Is this-
question.
is
Might be
this-
might be a fun.
Do I get this wrong?
No, you cannot get it wrong. Well, maybe, but
No, that is the wrong one. That's a great question.
maybe you don't have an all-time. But is there one that's speaking to you the most right now?
I like that you just keep trying to help me. You're a good man, Jay.
Thank you.
Well, what I was going to say is I do like, just without giving it a whole lot of thought, I was going to say there's the parable of the lost coin and the lost lady with the lost coin, the lost sheep, anyway, but then the lost son. And that's the prodigal son.
Prodigal son.
But it's not really a parable necessarily, although it's sometimes considered a parable. But the prodigal son is not really a parable, so because he says there was a man who blah, 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 blah. But it's certainly told like a parable, but also like the parable of the soils. There are a lot of parables I like, but parable of the soils, that's hard to say. Oh, here's a funny thing. Speaking of Texas, there's a famous ball player, Nolan Ryan, who played for Texas Rangers, right? And famous no-hitter dude, right? But he had the thickest accent. I'm Nolan Ryan. That's how he would say his name. And after he was finished with baseball, he was on commercials. And he was doing like a foundation repair company voiceover. And he literally says on the thing, I have a friend that we used to laugh about this all the time. Even in Texas, we laughed about how thick that was. He's like, hi, I'm Nolan Ryan. Here in Texas, we have a lot of trouble with our souls. Our what? Our souls. Soil? It's always get hung up on.
Yeah.
Soil souls. It's on our souls. We have hard souls. I don't know why I'm telling you that. Anyway, just the idea that even with all of the, there's so much that has to do with how you respond to the gospel, where your heart is in that message. How receptive are you to it? How serious are you as you respond? And we often wonder, and of course you and I were talking a little bit about certain people along the way who have some kind of church experience early on in their life, but then there's no fruit, no anything, as they go through the rest of their lives. And some of that has to do with the soil that's being described as the seed is being planted. We can go into some details of that, but we're not. That would also apply that very basic seeds of faith kind of thing. Anyway, I think that's what I'll say for now. I'll probably think about it later and go, why didn't I say? It's like Leona the other day. The question was, what's your favorite cartoon? And she said something. I don't know what it was. Looney Tunes or something. But even she knows her favorite cartoon is Peanuts. Charlie Brown.
Right.
So she wasn't even thinking.
That's got about 3 dozen
was
peanut coffee bugs.
Yeah, they're all right there behind you. Oh, my soul. That's just the way our brains work.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, it's funny. You can't.
How about you? Any favorite parable?
I can't remember the name of it, and I'll probably just butcher it, chopping it up. But there's a parable where Jesus talks about a landowner who is looking for workers in his field, and he pays them like 15 denarii for the day. And then later on in the day, he's still looking for more workers, and he pays them the same wage, even though they're not going to work the same amount of time. Right? And the idea...
They get mad.
And they get mad. They get mad because they're unhappy with what they're... Even though they agreed to it, they're getting the same compensation as the person that only had to work 2 hours in the day and not a full day. And I think some of that speaks to me, and I'm sure you have a phenomenal explanation for that parable. but at least my
so kind to
my thinking. Well, I didn't go to seminary, Johnny, so. But my thinking on that, at least maybe to a base level, is don't. One, I mean, obviously the whole envy and jealousy thing, like
yes.
steer clear of that,
right?
But also, our salvation is going to be similar whether you find Christ early on in life or whether you find Christ late in life. Your payment, your reward is going to be salvation. It's going to be the same.
It isn't fair, is it?
It's not fair, but I never thought about it in that sense. Like, I would never get mad as someone who grew up in a church.
Right.
I would never wait. You found God when you were 60. Why didn't we have the same outcome? Like,
I've been over my whole life.
But so I think
like it was a burden,
right. Like, so I think that if your mindset is you're going to get mad about, well, I deserve more than them, then you have the wrong mindset, and I think maybe that might be the point of it. But
that is a big point of it for sure. Yes.
What's the name of that parable? Is there a name for that one?
I forgot. The wealthy landowner.
Yeah.
No. I don't remember what it's called. But anyhow, maybe we'll put it right here. Maybe I'll interject in.
There you go.
I don't have time for all this. We'll pick it up on the next time.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, anyway, you can drop it in the comments below.
Let us know.
What's it called? I can't think of anything. I can remember Amarillo from below. So, the title of the parable. Oh, but what I was going to say is, what I have said a number of times along the way, this is why I said it isn't fair, is it? Because that's the whole wrong question. Because much like love is not fair.
Right.
It's generous.
Yes.
And even the person in the parable says that to those workers, why are you angry if I am generous? Right? So, those are great. 2 cookies left. Man.
Oh no, I haven't even had dinner yet, man. I can't I can't just smash 3
I haven't
cookies.
even trying to eat these cookies.
I'm good.
I might nibble on later. I'm having pizza tonight, so I mean, it's nothing but health.
Yeah.
Healthy.
That's how it was getting back from vacation, because we did a little grocery shopping. Well, you don't grocery shop when you're going to be gone for a week. Well, so the fridge was kind of empty and the pantry was kind of thinning down. We got back and we go, okay, we're just gonna run through fast food for dinner tonight. And then Friday comes around and we go, I don't feel like going to the store. So, the whole weekend was
we were
just
kind of like
shot
a little
with
bit
eating.
fast. Yeah, or everything's a little off. Oh my gosh! But I was glad to hear from you on Saturday. I didn't know I couldn't remember what time or when you were getting back, and I might get a text from you that just said, "Oh man, we're toast. Sorry, I'm not gonna make it in the morning." But no,
we got back on Thursday, so it worked out really
well.
So I had an extra. It was nice because I didn't go back to work today, so I had 3.5 days still after getting back before I went back to work. It was super.
That's the best way to do it. We got back on Saturday.
Oh, and then you got to have church on Sunday and then work on Monday. Yeah.
I don't know what that message was like on that day.
You got to go back and watch it.
Oh no! What in the world did I say?
What did I say?
Something about Amarillo, but Nolan Ryan. Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
so we're. But speaking of the message, we are in a new series called Face to Face.
Yes. So that's happened since we talked last. What I mean is that was not something we talked about before your journeys.
Right. Oh yeah. Correct. Right. That's a new thing.
I just couldn't get. I know we talked about it in the last podcast that there's still the Gospel of Mark. That we did talk about last time, right? Because we're right in the end times.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
By the way, that was the reason. I just swallowed a crumb. Hang on. that's the reason that this Sunday, although there are 3 almost identical tellings of what we talked about on Sunday, I chose Mark. Because we have been on Gospel of Mark.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so we talked about Gospel of Mark, getting back into that. I'm still trying to figure that out, so I didn't quite feel right. And the Sermon on the Mount, I'm still doing more study on it. And I just couldn't get a piece about it, although I had like half a message almost ready to go.
Right on.
And it was really late in the planning where I decided to go. Okay, I know I have preached on this particular message before, but I was drawn to it it was a long time ago, and it wasn't even the same. So anytime, if I ever say, I know I've talked about this before, it doesn't mean I've pulled out a message and I'm just reading the exact thing I did.
Right.
It just means I'm taking a similar structure, or it's a springboard for what's fresh for today. So anyway, that's what I did. I pulled something old, freshened it up. Well, yeah, let's do this. And as I was doing that, I realized, looking at the calendar, we have about 3 or 4 weeks or so. I thought, this might be kind of good to just the people who encountered face-to-face Jesus. We could call it a million different things, right? Encounters with the Lord. Anyway, just sounded weird. But anyway, face-to-face, I just thought, face-to-face, life-changing encounters with Jesus. That's what this is all about. And just taking certain individuals, and it's been fun to see, like we started with a sinful woman. Were you able to listen to that?
Yeah, I listened to that on the way home from work today, actually.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so the sinful woman, which is an amazing tale, amazing experience going on. And by the way, something I never said about that, I'll just jump back a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Where are we? Yep, we're okay for a while. Is that I didn't say, I don't know why I didn't mention this, there's another story in the other Gospels about a woman who does something similar. She has a valuable thing of perfume, and she pours it on Jesus. That sounded terrible.
She pours it on his head. She
anoints him, and someone says, hey, we could have sold that and given it to the poor.
Yes.
And these were his disciples. This wasn't Simon.
Right, they're like admonishing her for not...
Yeah, like they don't remember what happened with the sinful... They're 2 different women, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So one was, one of the sisters, Mary and Martha, I believe, from Bethany. And so that happens at their house in Bethany. And this story out of the Gospel of Luke is not that story.
Right.
So, and you might think, wait, wouldn't the disciples, wouldn't they remember all of this stuff? Well, think of all that they experienced. They didn't even remember or think twice about the fact that there had been a feeding of the 5,000 and a feeding of the 4,000.
Right, yeah.
Right? They didn't make those connections always. I don't know why. I just think there's a lot was going on in their world, and they were learning so many things, and it was blowing their minds. And then they would, you had James and John speaking up at one point, wanting to pray like Elijah and pull down fire and brimstone on the town because they didn't receive Jesus, right? Yeah. This is where the Sons of Thunder thing kind of came from, I believe. But, they were learning all kinds of stuff along the way. Yeah. And so they didn't make that connection either. And same, So I didn't mention it about that lady. But anyways, Simon, the sinful woman, all that stuff. Very cool, didn't mention that, thought I'd mention it. So as I went through that, preparing, I just thought this would be a good series. So that was at a tax collector's house. I very easily could have called the first 3 of these messages
the tax collector.
The terrible tax collecting, right? Tax collecting central. Even though there's no tax collector in the first story. But this Sunday, and I messed up. I messed it up. There are 2 little things, just slight corrections, all right? So what I wanted to do, and I think everybody in the room, for the most part, knew when I was talking about Levi that he was Matthew, right? But I didn't want to assume that, and certainly not online if somebody listens to that message. So I wanted to wait and do sort of a reveal at the end, and then talk a little about that. Not very close to stretching, but I just thought it was interesting, right? Levi connected, joined. Matthew, gift of God. So, and that he completely went by that, and in his own telling of the story, he doesn't say anything about anybody named Levi. He just from the beginning. So Matthew, da 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 da. And I just love that. It's one of those nuances of Scripture. But anyway, I wanted to do that, but there was a moment I slipped and I started saying Matthew. I kind of gave it away. Because I forgot to correct it in my notes. It was wrong in my notes and it threw me off. So I caught it the rest of the way. The other was, I think I said early on that only one of the three tellings of that story, which is the call of Levi or Matthew, told something slightly differently, but that's not completely accurate. Luke gave a different way. He said, it doesn't just say he got up and followed him. It says he left everything behind. So leaving everything behind, he got up and followed him.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an interesting Luke detail. Although my favorite is Matthew's extra detail, right? Go and learn this lesson. Mercy, not sacrifice. That's amazing. I mean, it really is an amazing thought. But anyhow, so face to face. So next week, this Sunday, did I give that away? Did I give away who we're talking about on Sunday?
No, I don't think so. You were talking about like all the stuff that we are kind of fishing around in, right? But like you didn't say, where we're going to be.
Should I say?
Sure, yeah, why not?
Well,
because then the people that watch will have a little
extra.
Yeah,
but then they won't want to come and hear the fascinating tale.
Show up.
I did give a little preview. I said the guy we're talking about next week, another tax collector, Jesus said this about, kind of seeking to save the lost, right? Mm-hmm. Well, it's a guy named Zacchaeus. And we'll be talking about him on Sunday.
That's the inside scoop.
That's the inside scoop.
Yeah.
Zach Attack on Sunday. All right, we'll leave that at that. Okay, what else is cooking? We've got the garden, and we were just talking about that's coming up pretty soon. And we're still in our pattern right now of base camp, home gatherings, and Summit Sunday. I got to tell you, we're going to have to ramp up our Summit Sundays. We got to do some inviting, do some things. Mm-hmm. So I definitely want to get away from that vibe where it's like, oh, we're going to be at the school. We're still having brunch.
I know, we're still having brunch.
It's a different feel. It's a different thing.
I love our brunch, and I don't want to critique it at all. And I would, but there's always I can't remember how you phrase it, but it's like, it's a great church. They just kind of forgot to include Jesus or whatever it is. you know what I'm talking about, where it's like, I don't want us to become the church of brunch. You know what I mean? There needs to be
brunch church.
Right, I love that we do breakfast. It's phenomenal fellowship, and I love that we get together and enjoy it. It's great.
It's not what we're fully.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's a great selling point though when I tell people like we cook breakfast together. Everyone's like, "That sounds awesome." Yeah, people get excited.
Well, that's why we do it on Summit Sunday too.
Yeah, I know.
It's a fun. It's just hard to go backwards from that one.
Of course,
that's a tough one. It'll be one of our biggest budget items in the year. But anyway, no, of course. I mean, we don't want to be any one trick pony anything, right? Except for Jesus. We're following Jesus. If we can't have brunch, we're still having church.
We're still having church.
We're going to worship together.
Yes.
But no, I hear what you're saying, man. So as long as we're making Jesus clear on Sunday, one of the fun things about Sunday, so we did a new song that we actually did the week that you weren't here.
Okay.
Were you here? Were you here the week before? Yes, that's right. So that song, There's Only One Name. There is only one name. Mm-hmm. Okay, we introduced that the week before.
Yeah.
Then we did it this week.
Okay.
Jesus, Jesus. And Liana told me this morning at school that her sister had that song stuck in her head. She'd been singing it the rest of the day.
Awesome.
I love that. Yeah, so I asked her which song, and she went, Jesus, something like that. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, all right. Well, now we've probably talked long enough.
Yeah. It's good length. That's good.
It's been a big break. Sorry about that. Mm-hmm. Thanks for sticking with us.
Thanks for coming back. Yeah.
It feels like there's something else we should talk about. I think it's John 3:16.
That's right.
It's a verse we always quote one way or another. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. So we want to share that every week.
Absolutely.
But I just take it away from you tonight.
That's great.
All right. All right, Jake, was there anything else that we need to throw out before we hit the road?
I don't think so. I think we're good. Yeah.
All right, thanks for joining us tonight. We meet somewhere in the world every single week, and you can usually find us online. You can discover more at compassdenver.com, and we'd love to have you as our guest this Sunday for Summit Sunday at Arkansas Elementary School here in Aurora, Colorado at 10 o'clock. Or get there at about 9:30 and enjoy some brunch with us.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we're at final words.
This has been great because he is great.
Grace to you and peace. That's all we have for tonight, and we are out.
Bye.
Well, bye now. Still want to eat this cookie. Cookie!